Listing Agreements Practice Test. Question 1. Yasmin is assisting with a cooperative unit transaction in Bowie. Which principle applies when the facts involve a contractual right to match or accept terms when an owner decides to sell? Option A. Right of first refusal. Option B. Time is of the essence. Option C. Exclusive agency listing. Option D. Rescission. The correct answer is option A. Right of first refusal. Once a qualifying third-party offer exists, the holder receives the opportunity defined by the agreement. The wording controls notice, timing, and covered transactions. The right does not usually force the owner to offer the property before deciding to market it. Question 2. Which answer most accurately identifies a legal rule requiring specified agreements, including many real estate contracts, to be in writing and signed in a real estate transaction? Option A. Unenforceable contract. Option B. Statute of frauds. Option C. Specific performance. Option D. Counteroffer. The correct answer is option B. Statute of frauds. Exceptions can apply in limited circumstances such as qualifying part performance. The rule concerns enforceability rather than whether the parties discussed an oral bargain. The writing must identify the parties, property, and essential terms with sufficient certainty. Question 3. A question arising during settlement preparation concerns cancellation that seeks to return the parties to their pre-contract positions. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A. Lease. Option B. Bilateral contract. Option C. Rescission. Option D. Open listing. The correct answer is option C. Rescission. The remedy may arise by mutual agreement, statutory right, or legal grounds such as fraud. Money and property received are typically restored as far as practical. It differs from damages that leave the agreement's consequences in place.
Stressed about your property and casualty? We can take property and casualty for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. While analyzing a townhouse, PREA must apply the concept involving an agreement giving a holder the right, but not the obligation, to buy or lease under stated terms within a fixed period. Which answer should be selected? Option A. Contingency. Option B. Unenforceable contract. Option C. Voidable contract. Option D. Option contract. The correct answer is option D. Option contract. Separate consideration commonly supports the promise not to revoke. The owner must keep the opportunity open during the option term. Exercise must strictly comply with the method and deadline stated in the agreement. Question 5. Which real estate term is defined by a listing in which the broker earns the agreed compensation if the property sells during the term regardless of who finds the buyer? Option A. Exclusive right to sell listing. Option B. Valid contract. Option C. Buyer representation agreement. Option D. Statute of frauds. The correct answer is option A. Exclusive right to sell listing. The owner's own sale normally triggers compensation unless the agreement creates a specific exception. The broker must still perform the promised marketing and representation duties. This arrangement provides the strongest compensation protection to the listing broker. Question 6. In a transaction involving a single-family home, which rule controls when there is a definite proposal communicated with intent to be bound upon acceptance? Option A. Assignment. Option B. Offer. Option C. Property management agreement. Option D. Executory contract. The correct answer is option B. Offer. The proposal can terminate through revocation, rejection, counter-proposal, lapse, or operation of law. The terms must be sufficiently clear for the recipient to understand the proposed bargain. An advertisement is usually an invitation to negotiate unless it is unusually specific and leaves nothing open. Question 7. A salesperson asks about a court remedy ordering a party to carry out contractual duties. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A. Executory contract. Option B. Bilateral contract. Option C. Specific performance. Option D. Open listing. The correct answer is option C. Specific performance. Real estate is considered unique, which can support this relief in a purchase dispute. Equitable defenses and the claimant's own performance affect availability. The remedy is available when money damages are inadequate and the agreement is sufficiently definite. Question 8. Wendy encounters a contractually stated amount recoverable after breach when it reasonably estimates anticipated loss during a lease negotiation. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, void contract. Option B, time is of the essence. Option C, novation. Option D, liquidated damages. The correct answer is option D, liquidated damages. Earnest money clauses must be read carefully to determine the parties' agreed remedy. Courts may refuse enforcement when the amount operates as an excessive penalty. The provision should compensate rather than punish the breaching party.
Are you looking for property and casualty actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access property and casualty study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get property and casualty answer key today.
Question 9. Which choice best matches the description substitution of a new party or obligation with consent that releases the original party? Option A, novation. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, buyer representation agreement. Option D, lease. The correct answer is option A, novation. All necessary parties must agree to the replacement. The former obliger is discharged rather than remaining secondarily liable. This distinguishes the arrangement from a simple assignment of rights. Question 10. During review of a historic residence in Laurel, the parties discuss a listing allowing the owner to avoid brokerage compensation by personally finding the buyer. Which term applies? Option A, bilateral contract. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, time is of the essence. Option D, executory contract. The correct answer is option B, exclusive agency listing. The owner retains a limited right to sell without owing the agreed fee. The broker earns compensation when the broker or another broker produces the buyer. The exact result depends on the written agreement and procuring minus cost terms. Question 11. An exam scenario presents an agreement formed by an exchange of promises. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, executory contract. Option B, unilateral contract. Option C, bilateral contract. Option D, statute of frauds. The correct answer is option C, bilateral contract. Each party becomes obligated when the promises are accepted. Performance occurs later even though the agreement is formed at acceptance. Most purchase agreements create reciprocal duties to convey title and pay the price. Question 12. A licensee preparing for an inspection period must recognize a contract provision making stated deadlines material duties. Which concept does this describe? Option A, assignment. Option B, net listing. Option C, counteroffer. Option D, time is of the essence. The correct answer is option D, time is of the essence. Parties can waive strict enforcement through conduct or written modification. Failure to perform on time can constitute breach without the flexibility otherwise allowed by reasonable minus delay principles. The clause should be applied to the deadlines covered by its wording. Question 13. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving an agreement accepted through completion of the requested act rather than a return promise? Option A, unilateral contract. Option B, novation. Option C, valid contract. Option D, open listing. The correct answer is option A, unilateral contract. An option can create a one-sided obligation because the owner must keep the offer open while the holder may choose whether to exercise. The exact formation rules depend on the offer terms and applicable law. The offeror seeks performance as the method of acceptance. Question 14. At a buyer consultation in Baltimore, Hector explains an arrangement in which the owner sets a desired net amount and the broker keeps the excess as compensation. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, exclusive right minus to sell listing. Option B, net listing. Option C, executory contract. Option D, unilateral contract. The correct answer is option B, net listing. A licensee must follow state law and fiduciary duties rather than assume it is permitted. Many jurisdictions prohibit or restrict this arrangement. The structure creates a serious conflict because the broker benefits from a larger spread rather than a transparent fee. Question 15. A transaction file for a condominium unit raises an issue involving an agreement in which all parties have completed their promised performance. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, acceptance. Option B, statute of frauds. Option C, executed contract. Option D, valid contract. The correct answer is option C, executed contract. No material contractual duties remain outstanding after full performance. The term describes performance status rather than the presence of signatures. A signed purchase contract awaiting closing is usually still executory. Question 16. Which concept should a closing agent apply to facts involving an agreement with one or more material obligations still to be performed? Option A, property management agreement. Option B, liquidated damages. Option C, novation. Option D, executory contract. The correct answer is option D, executory contract. The contract may be fully signed even though performance is incomplete. A pending sales contract remains in this status until closing duties are completed or the agreement ends. Contingencies and deadlines continue to govern the parties. Question 17. Zane is studying a rule concerning a non-exclusive arrangement allowing multiple brokers to seek a buyer, with compensation generally owed to the successful procuring broker. Which term should be chosen? Option A, open listing. Option B, purchase agreement. Option C, void contract. Option D, bilateral contract. The correct answer is option A, open listing. The owner may also retain the right to sell independently without paying a broker. Clear documentation is important because competing efforts can create compensation disputes. No single broker receives exclusive marketing authority. Question 18. When a warehouse transaction involves something of legal value exchanged to support a contract, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, specific performance. Option B, consideration. Option C, right of first refusal. Option D, net listing. The correct answer is option B, consideration. Earnest money may evidence seriousness but is not always required for contract validity. The exchange can consist of money, a promise, an act, or forbearance. Courts generally examine legal sufficiency rather than whether the bargain was economically equal. Stressed about your Maryland real estate? We can take Maryland real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A practice question describes an agreement containing competent parties, lawful objective, offer and acceptance, consideration, and required formalities. Which response is best? Option A, buyer representation agreement. Option B, novation. Option C, valid contract. Option D, counteroffer. The correct answer is option C, valid contract. The parties must have capacity and the purpose cannot violate law or public policy. Some real estate agreements must also satisfy writing and signature requirements. A binding agreement requires mutual assent to definite terms and legally sufficient consideration. Question 20. During a lease negotiation, which principle is illustrated by a response changing the original offer and proposing different terms? Option A, consideration. Option B, unilateral contract. Option C, unenforceable contract. Option D, counteroffer. The correct answer is option D, counteroffer. A later attempt to accept the first offer may fail because it was terminated. The roles of offeror and offeree reverse for the new proposal. The response rejects the original proposal unless the offeror renews it. Question 21. Which answer states the concept associated with a contract authorizing a manager to operate rental property on behalf of an owner? Option A, property management agreement. Option B, novation. Option C, valid contract. Option D, acceptance. The correct answer is option A, property management agreement. The agreement should define authority, compensation, accounting, maintenance limits, and reporting. The manager owes duties created by agency law and licensing rules. Trust funds must be handled separately and records maintained as required. Question 22. A listing broker handling an office building in Westminster must identify a contract condition allowing performance obligations to depend on a specified event. Which choice is correct? Option A, voidable contract. Option B, contingency. Option C, acceptance. Option D, rescission. The correct answer is option B, contingency. The party benefiting from the provision must comply with notice and deadline requirements. Financing, appraisal, inspection, and sale minus property conditions allocate transaction risk. Failure of the condition can permit termination if the clause is properly invoked. Question 23. During a due diligence meeting for a waterfront parcel in Hagerstown, Jonah needs to identify the rule described as an agreement with no legal effect from the beginning. Which answer applies? Option A, offer. Option B, buyer representation agreement. Option C, void contract. Option D, lease. The correct answer is option C, void contract. No party can enforce an arrangement that lacks a fundamental legal requirement or has an illegal purpose. This differs from a contract that is valid unless a protected party chooses to avoid it. Later approval ordinarily cannot cure an agreement that was never legally valid. Question 24. An associate broker is reviewing a retail suite in Cambridge. Which term describes an otherwise valid agreement that a court will not enforce because of a legal defense? Option A, executed contract. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, option contract. Option D, unenforceable contract. The correct answer is option D, unenforceable contract. This status differs from an agreement that was void at formation. A missing required writing or expiration of a limitations period can prevent judicial enforcement. The underlying promises may have been lawful and supported by consideration. Question 25. At a property-management audit, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: a contract transferring possession and use for a term while the owner retains title. Which concept is being tested? Option A, lease. Option B, rescission. Option C, specific performance. Option D, assignment. The correct answer is option A, lease. Rent, duration, maintenance, and permitted use are central terms. The document does not convey fee ownership to the occupant. The tenant receives of the rental agreement hold interest and owes duties stated in the agreement and law.